Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2023 Season 2 of Amazon Prime's original show, Invincible, based on the best-selling graphic novel series of the same name, written by Robert Kirkman, co-written by Robert Kirkman, and then co-created by Robert Kirkman, book and show. So it's very much creator has the license to tweak whatever they need to tweak to make it into a TV show. Totally fine. Even though graphic novels, to be honest, are more like storyboards for shows anyway. Semantics. So 21, we got season 1. 23, we have season 2. 25, we just got season 3. And no, 21, we got 1. 23, we got 2. 25, we got 3. Okay, and then 26, we're getting season 4. So it's a little faster. They're making the 4th season. Robert Kirkman was interviewed at one point saying he thinks 8 seasons would be appropriate to then do the complete story of Invincible per the comics that are out. I've never read the comics, so I have nothing to base on. I just have what incredible 8 episodes we have for the first season, 9 for the second season. I'm only saying 9 because it's 8 episodes plus the Adam Eve special, which came out before season 2. So it's a season prequel, if you will. It's how Adam Eve became Adam Eve. So it's her origin, if you will, and her adapting then to superhero life and stuff like that. So it's a wonderful special. So in the end of season 1, Nolan, Omni-Man, beats the ever-living poop out of his son, Mark Grayson, voiced by Stephen Yeun, who is invincible. And so it's a matter of there's a massive fight in Chicago, thousands of people died, and then Omni-Man just leaves. He eats Earth. He's done. He is a Viltrumite, so he is tasked to rule over Earth for the Viltrumite Empire to then come in and take over. That way there's no more cancer, no more disease, everybody's decisions are made for them, stuff like that. So the point of free will is then gone when the Viltrumite Empire comes into your planet. They are an invasive species who are extremely strong and will do anything in their power to get the planet. So what happens then when Mark is left to deal with the aftermath after his dad leaves, after his dad beats him? What happens with his mom dealing with this as well, when Debbie is dealing with the loss of the husbands who called her a pet and all these different horrible things. So Mark is trying to now start college with his girlfriend Amber and his best friend William. He and William are roommates. William is still dealing with the kind of loss, but like reconstruction of Richard, his boyfriend. So like, how does that come about? That Donald has his story arc of being part human, part mechanical, reaching out to Rich as well. So there's a lot of heartfelt moments in this particular show on secondary, tertiary characters, as well as the main characters, which is really great storytelling. So within Mark having to travel to help this Thoraxan race, for a month or so, being tricked because his dad actually was there the whole time, but his dad needs his help to protect these individuals, which is unlike him, but he needs his help to protect because he now has another son with a Thoraxan leader. So Mark has to now help his half-brother as Viltrumites start to invade. And then what happens when half of that planet is destroyed? There's a lot of Viltrumite empire genocide throughout the galaxy, and the galaxies plural. So it's very interesting having then trying to figure out what's best for Mark, what's best for everyone, because Mark is half human. So his human side is taking over in regards to emotions and empathy, rather than the Viltrumite side, which is more empire, conquering, and genocide. So how does this work in regards to character development? Mark has a lot of battles with himself. Am I a Viltrumite? Am I human? What am I supposed to do next? Nolan is actually changing his perspective on certain things as well. He's getting weaker, as he's referenced, from Viltrumites as he's taken and held onto this prison for execution. But does it actually happen? Seth Rogen's character Valen is back, and he has been revamped as well to then help fight some Viltrumites after they beat him to all oblivion. A lot of blood in this. Wonderful, wonderful story. So it's a matter of what happens with the heroes on Earth. How do they fight their battles in general? How do you prepare for the inevitable Viltrumite invasion? Stuff. What happens with Mark and Amber? What happens with certain time traveling aspects? There's multiverse thrown into this as well because of one specific individual. What happens when he starts to become a villain? It's a very interesting story arc for certain characters. A lot of time passes as well for certain things. And I think it was appropriate how it ends. It's a matter of what happens next. What is Mark going to do next? he can't stay at school anymore. He doesn't want to be like his dad, but he literally obliterated this new villain, and he swore he would never do that. He would never kill, but he did kill. So what happens next? A lot of this series is what happens next. How do you grow? The past is the past. The past happened, brought you to your present, and what happens in the present determines what the future can bring. Very interesting plot points, very interesting character development, very interesting storytelling. I thought it was very well done. Holds the attention. You get choked up at times. It is a very well crafted, well written story with incredible animation, and it makes fun of itself at certain scenes too, that it is an animation. That you had one Comic-Con scene where a creator was saying how in certain stories you can, just keep the voiceover and do a pan out shot, not have to actually animate anything because it saves money. Or if you're doing a close up shot, you could do the back of the head. So there's no amounts of money having to be put into making the eyes move, making the nose move, making the mouth move, stuff like that. So it was very interesting 4D breaking, fourth wall breaking kind of a thing. Loved it. Second season of Invincible. Wonderful, wonderful show. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.